everyone, I'm Robyn Baker, Training Manager at Power Plate, and this is Jessica Mefford, and today we are going to be doing a Power Plate yoga basic workout. So all of you people that love yoga, love the Power Plate, this is going to combine some of the most basic yoga moves and the Power Plate into one great workout. So come along with us and let's do some yoga. So we're going to start with a warm-up. As you can see, we're placing a mat over a hard deck, so this can just give you some more cushion if you don't have a soft deck, and it's a great way to just easily take the mat off and be able to use the hard deck right when you're ready. So the first exercise we're going to do in our warm-up series is a child's pose. This is just to kind of get into the flow of yoga, warm up a little bit, your back, your shoulders, and also concentrate on your breathing to get centered and prepare yourself to do a yoga workout. You'll hold this pose for the remainder of the exercise. The next exercise in our warm-up is going to be cat-cow. So Jessica is going to kneel on the power plate with her hands on the platform. She wants to start with a neutral spine. She's going to inhale as she lowers her stomach towards the power plate, lifts her chin, lifts her tailbone, and she's going to exhale as she rounds her spine and tucks her chin and rounds her tailbone. So she's going to continue going through this motion of extension in her spine and flexion in her spine. As she inhales, she's going to go through extension, and as she exhales, she's going to go through flexion. You'll continue with this movement pattern for the remainder of the exercise. Our next exercise in the warm-up is Sphinx Pose. So Jessica is going to lay on the platform here with the mat. She's going to lower her body down. Elbows and wrists are going to be straight in front of each other, and she's going to actively pull herself forward to get a nice stretch and widening in her collarbones and her shoulders. And this is a great way to prepare your torso also for up dogs. And she's going to hold this for the remainder of the exercise. Our next exercise in the warm-up is a single arm rotating pectoral stretch. So Jessica is going to lay on her side on the deck. She's going to place her arm flat on the plate. She's going to rotate her torso and her hips up, and she's going to let her head relax down on the deck. So this is a great stretch to open up your chest and your pectorals prior to doing any type of yoga. She's going to hold this for the remainder of the exercise. Our next exercise in the warm-up series is down dog and up dog prep. So we usually don't use the mat on the power plate platform when we do any type of down dog or up dog workout, just because the grips actually help with not letting your hands slide. So we're going to place this off to the side. If you like having that extra cushion, by all means, you're welcome to use it. So Jessica's going to get into a plank position. She's going to lower her hips into an up dog position, and then she's going to shift her hips back into an up dog position. She's going to keep on going between down dog and up dog for the full remainder of the exercise. The last exercise in our warm-up series is ragdoll circles. So Jessica is going to flex forward. She's going to grab opposite elbows and really get some traction in her spine. From here, she's going to rotate with her left shoulder off to the right, come all the way up and around, and all the way back down to her starting position. She's going to do a couple in each direction, making sure that her knees are slightly bent as she comes all the way up to the top. And she's going to be doing this for the remainder of the exercise. So the first exercise in our workout portion are sun salutations. So this is what we traditionally do at the beginning of class to warm up the body and get the joints moving. So the first direction Jessica's going to face is in towards the machine. She can have her hands down at her side. She's going to inhale, she reaches up towards the ceiling. Long spine, she's going to exhale, she flexes forward. Arms come straight down through. Hands come down to the mat or anywhere that you can take your hands. She's going to inhale, come up halfway, lengthen her spine. She's going to exhale as she takes her feet back towards the platform and lowers down into a chaturanga, which is also like a push-up. She's going to inhale as she lifts her chest up and through into up dog, and exhale as she takes her hips back and her feet come down flat. She's going to hold it here for a couple of seconds, and then once she feels a little comfortable in this position and feels a little bit more warmed up, she's going to take an inhale as her feet come towards the hands back onto the power plate. Lifting her chin and her chest up halfway, Exhale, she folds. Inhale, taking her arms all the way back up and out to the side. And she's going to exhale and take both hands to heart center. So she's going to continue going through this movement for the remainder of the exercise, making sure that her breath matches her movement. The next exercise in the workout is single leg dog with knee tucks. So Jessica is going to get in a single leg down dog position. She's going to raise her right leg up, making sure that her head is relaxed, neck is relaxed. She's going to pull the knee in towards her nose and round her spine, so she's really using that core to do this. She's going to inhale, she takes her leg back up. Exhale, she pulls her right knee to right elbow. Nice oblique work right here. Inhale, the leg comes back up. And then she's going to exhale again as her knee comes across to her left elbow. And she's going to inhale as her knee goes back up. So she's going to continue with this movement pattern going from center knee to nose, to the right elbow and to the left elbow for the remainder of the exercise, and then do the same exercise with her left leg. The next sequence in our workout portion is going to consist of a warrior one, a back extension, and humble warrior. So Jessica is going to set up for warrior one. She wants to have her back foot down and flat and rotated out to the side. So that front heel is going to actually line up with her back heel. She's going to take both arms straight up towards the ceiling. She wants to bend her right knee as far to a 90 degree as possible. She's going to hold this for a couple of seconds. From here, she's going to interlace her fingers behind her back and perform a spine extension. Look up as feels good to you. Some people, if this is bad for your neck, you can definitely keep your focus straight forward. From here, she's going to take a deep inhale and then exhale as she lowers her chest into a humble warrior. And if you can, in this position, have your hands flat together so the palms are touching. You'll get an even better stretch in your shoulder capsules. So she's going to do this just to sequence one time for the remainder of the exercise, and then switch legs for the other side. The next sequence in our workout series is going to consist of Warrior 2, Reverse Warrior, and Extended Angle Pose. So Jessica's going to start off in Warrior 2. She wants to make sure that her front heel bisects her back heel. She wants to make sure her hips are nice and square off to the side and her gaze is straight forward. So from here, she's going to hold this for a couple seconds. She's going to inhale, she reverses her warrior, taking her hand up towards the ceiling and letting her left hand run down the back leg, making sure that right knee stays nice and bent at about a 90-degree angle. From here, she's going to exhale as she comes forward into an extended ankle pose. Now, if this is too deep of a stretch for you, you can always rest your elbow on top of your front leg, and you want to reach your top arm straight up and over, and you want to keep your shoulders nice and relaxed away from your ears. So she's going to run through the sequence just once for this time for the whole exercise, and then repeat it on the other side. The next sequence in our workout portion is Warrior 3 into Half Moon Pose. So this is a really challenging balance exercise. So Jessica's going to start standing on the platform of the plate. She's going to lower her torso down as her back leg comes out. So this is Warrior 3 right here. She wants to make sure her hips are level towards the floor, her gaze is straight down, and shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Hands can either be straight out like that or in heart center if that's more comfortable for you. From here, she's going to go into a half moon pose. So her same side hand as the leg bends down is going to go down to the plate, and her left arm is going to extend straight up towards the ceiling as her hips and leg rotate up towards the side. And she's going to just go through this sequence one time on this leg and then repeat it on the other side. The next two exercises are really great for your shoulder stability and core stability. So we're going to be doing a dolphin pose into a side tree pose. So Jessica's going to get into a dolphin pose, which is just like down dog, but her forearms are down. She wants to have her hands stay flat on the power plate, and she's going to lift up her heels as high as possible. She's going to actively push her chest towards her feet, so this is great for your shoulder stability as well as your core. From here, she's going to go into a side tree pose. So she's going to rotate her torso, and her top leg, her foot is going to come to the inseam of her leg. Her right arm is going to lift straight towards the ceiling. She wants to make sure that her hips are lifted nice and high so she really gets that work in her obliques. And she's going to do this sequence just once on this side and then switch to the other side. Our next two exercises are pyramid pose and twisting triangle pose. So Jessica's going to step on the platform with her right foot, and this setup is just like Warrior One. She wants to make sure her front heel is in line with her back heel. She's going to keep her torso squared in the machine and hinge forward, keeping a really nice long spine, letting her hands come down towards the floor and relaxing her head down. So this is a great stretch for the hamstrings as well as for the hips. She's going to hold this for a couple seconds and then move into a twisting triangle where her left hand stays down on the platform and she rotates her torso up towards the ceiling. If this is too much of a stretch for you, you can always add a block underneath your hand that's down on the power plate. And she's just going to go through this series once on this side and then repeat it on the other side. The next two exercises in our workout series is lizard pose into pigeon pose. So this is a great exercise for hip opening. She's going to start in like a low lunge position. She's going to take both forearms onto the platform of the machine and lower her hips as low as they can go, keeping her knee pointing straight towards the ceiling. She's just going to hold this for a couple seconds until she feels a little looser in her hips and then move into a pigeon pose. So her foot that's on the machine is going to come across. She wants to keep the front of her shin right here as parallel to the pillar of the machine as possible. She wants to keep her hips level, and when she feels comfortable, she can lower her chest down, and if she wants to, she can grab onto the handlebars. So she's just going to go through this sequence once on this side and then repeat it on the other. The last exercise in our workout series is bridge pose. So this is a great restorative pose for your spine. Jessica's going to lay on the mat and her feet are going to be flat. She's going to lift her hips up into a regular kind of glute bridge pose, but she's also going to interlace her fingers underneath her spine to give a little bit more stretch in her chest and her upper back. Just make sure her knees squeeze together so they don't go out further than her feet, and she's just going to hold this for the remainder of the exercise. So we made it to the cool down, and we're going to start off with quad massage. Jessica's going to lay on her stomach on the mat here, and she's going to place her legs just straight out on the platform of the machine. She's just going to relax here for the remainder of the exercise. From here, we're going to move into a hamstring massage. So Jessica's just going to flip on over to her back. Hamstrings go on to the power plate. She's just going to relax down. And again, if you have someone that's close by that wants to help you out a little bit, adding a little bit of pressure to the legs to really get that vibration travel into the legs is a great option. The last massage that she's going to do is a low back massage with rotation. So she's going to move forward just a little bit so her hips and her low back are on top of the platform. She's going to pull her knees into her chest. She's going to hold this here for a couple seconds. And then she's going to keep hold of one of her knees as the other one comes out. She's just going to pull it across her body into a nice spinal rotation. Just going to hold this for a couple seconds and then just switch legs. So her other leg comes into her chest and she twists to the other direction. And that's your cool down. Well, thank you for joining us for Power Plate Yoga.